Yo, what's poppin'? Welcome to the Gray Area Podcast, where we talk about situations and things that are rarely even talked about for whatever reason. Shout out to everybody on this lockdown Friday. Y'all know what it is. We on lockdown, people. Okay. Okay, if you're here for the first time, you all know what to do. Share that feed. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. And our subject for tonight is grief. Grief. A lot of killing been going on. A lot of things been going on. And I mean, it's been crazy out here. A lot of homies of mine's been killed lately. Rest in peace to all the fallen soldiers. Despite what people think or have to say. Yeah. This one of those gray area subjects. And for those of you that are tuning in to Facebook or whether you're tuning in on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, y'all. Invite a friend, tell a friend, and let's talk about it. Y'all know this is where we talk about situations and things that are rarely talked about for whatever reason. And it's not based on my views only. It is also based on your views and opinions. This is an open dialogue. Whereas, we get to talk about things and dice it up. And a lot of people are saying, why am I going a little later than usual? It's because, right? Some people were complaining that they're not home in time to catch the feed. So they are saying that they wanted to, do it close to the curfew. So that's what I'm doing. So y'all know what to do. Share the feed, invite a friend, tell a friend. And let's talk about it. Okay, now grief. Grief. Let's define grief. Y'all know I like to start off with definition. So, because some people would be like, what is grief? So let's go. The definition. Grief means intense sorrow. Y'all know what is sorrow? So we know what that is. Intense sorrow, especially caused by someone's death. Especially caused by someone's death. When somebody that is close to you or somebody that you've known or somebody that you had any sort of relationship with or come into contact with died, you feel something called grief. Now, I'm going to share one of the conversations. I'm going to stare at a little left right now. I'm going to share one of the conversations that I had. So, somebody that I knew died. He got killed. And, I was feeling some type of way. You know what I mean? I was feeling a little sad and I was feeling a little down about it because, you know what I mean? It's like the person was close to me. And, when you know somebody, It doesn't matter what they do. Well, not in my eyes. It doesn't matter to me what they do or what they did or who they did it to or whatever. But anyway, so the person got killed, right? And, I was feeling down. And then somebody asked me, hey, why are you feeling down about this person? Say, they deserve to be killed. They was this and that. You know what I mean? I was like, I was like, that doesn't change the fact that even though that person was this or that, you know what I mean? Like, you still feel some type of way. I mean, like, what am I supposed to be? Okay, he died. Okay, good riddance. He need to die. So my question, and that's just one part of the topic. It's not going to be just basically based on that, but I'm just saying. And then I saw on Facebook, like when I was checking on under the post, whereas they posted him on, one of those popular social media groups, and the person was like, oh, well, it's time for them to die. You don't know how many people, they killed or whatever, this and that, or nobody should cry over them. I mean, at the end of the day, they are still somebody's friend. They are still somebody's father. They are still somebody's cousin, uncle, aunts, or whatever. I mean, so who makes the rules on where we should grieve over somebody or not? Like, is there an unknown rule that I don't know about that says, okay, we shouldn't grieve over this person. We shouldn't grieve over that person. Is there a hidden rule that we don't know about? I mean, I just want to know. So when people die and they get killed, even in spite of their background. So we just be cold hearted and be like, okay, well, I'm glad that they're off the face of the earth. So we just be like cold and be like, okay, they died. Too bad. Too bad for them. Well, they died. I mean, I'm just trying to figure that out because I was kind of taken back by the person. It was like, oh, you shouldn't even feel sorry for that person. You don't know what they did or whatever. You shouldn't even feel sad anyway. You should be happy they're gone. And I'm like, they're like a friend of mine. Like, why wouldn't I feel some type of way? Why wouldn't I grieve for somebody that's been shot or killed? You know what I mean? I understand. And they just like live by the sword, die by the sword. And I understand that. Like I'm not saying that I'm going against scripture or whatever. I'm just saying, regardless of it, right? Yes, you live by the sword and you die by the sword, regardless of the fact. Oh, see, someone even comment on the same thing they said. Kwame said, real talk, live by the sword. Live by the sword, bro. I understand that, but does living by the sword mean you shouldn't grieve for somebody you know? I'm just saying. So if they're living by the sword, you shouldn't feel no type of way when they die. I mean, like these people you grew up with, these people you hung out with, these people, you shoot marbles with. Of course, you're going to feel some type of way. Let's see. Kwame said, you shouldn't be happy when someone dies, but some of these demons got to go. Like but even so, right? If you're saying that, but who of us are to play judge and executioners? Like, who are we to decide, okay, this person should die because they did this and that? I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Like, who are we to say, okay, this person, they need to die? Like, just listen to that. Basically, that's basically what you're saying. They need to die. That's just like you being the judge and executioner all in one. Like you saying they need to die. I mean, isn't that, if we say we follow in scripture as we are quote unquote Christian nation, right? Isn't it up to the Most High himself to basically deal with that person in the afterlife? I mean, I just, anyway, let me get to the rest of these comments. If you have emotional attachment to people, regardless of their lifestyle, you will miss them as a person. Yes, Ali, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. See, I'm trying to figure out which one of these messages I should read first. Wow. These messages harsh, boy. All right, let's get to the next one. It's not okay for someone to tell me how to grieve. That person may have done bad to you, but haven't been nothing but greatness to me. Facts. Facts. And that's my point. But us here in the 242, we have this thing as anytime somebody dies, especially when they get killed, right? I just want to stick there because a lot of that been going on lately. Y'all know with a lot of the murders that's been going on. Like, I've been reading the posts even on some of the people that I knew, right? Yeah, I knew they weren't no saint, and I knew they weren't no pastor or no priest or no nun or all of that. I knew that, and I knew that for a fact. But I mean, I saw people like maliciously said they needed to die. I hope they suffered when they died too. I hope they bled to death and they were screaming for their life. I mean, like, people were passionate about people dying. Like, I mean, and then they say nobody should grieve over these people because they died. They said nobody should grieve over these people. They killed people like dogs, so they need to die like dogs. Okay, Sonny says, yes, grief has nothing to do with judgment. Regardless of the state of which these person dies in, we will feel for them. Yes, Philly, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, people always put a stigma on us to say we shouldn't grieve for this person. Like, I was really taken back because it was like, oh, you shouldn't feel anyway for these people. Let them die. Let them die a merciless death. I mean, like, listen, they were passionate. Listen, I'm gonna read the messages and y'all will be shocked. That's unconditional love. Can't make people change their bad habits, but you can love them for the good qualities they had. Y'all speaking. They need to keep their personal feelings to themselves. Woo. People need to stop telling people how to grieve. No matter what they do in life, bad sometimes, they were good to someone else. Let's get the quote me. Boy, all this killing is destroying the future young man. Person deserves second chance. I understand that people deserve second chance, and I understand it's destroying the future. But focus on what I'm saying here. When somebody dies, right? Who am I or who are we as individuals to tell a person how to grieve? You know what I'm saying? We often say, oh, you shouldn't grieve for the person, you know, they were this and they were that. You know what I mean? Like we act like we act like we act like they weren't somebody's relative or family. Let me get my cuss. You will live by the sword, you will die by the sword, but at the end of the day, where is that soul going? Most of them are eternally lost. Very sad. I understand that, you know, cuz my thing is, right? Let's use me for an example, right? Knowing like the area that I grew up in, you know, the lifestyle that I escaped from. Let me just put it like that. The lifestyle that I escaped from. What happens if I was on the wrong path and let's say specifically I was a lost soul, right? And basically just think about like the area where I came from, right? What the people are into and so forth. What happens if I had not chosen the right path to say, you know what, I ain't really into this. I can't be living my life hiding and running and ducking and dodging and all of that, right? So who is to say? Who is to say that I didn't end up dead on the streets, right? I live by the sword and I die by the sword. Yes. Who is somebody else to say, okay, Mo, you shouldn't grieve over your cousin because he lived by the sword, he died by the sword. I remember when this shooter died and people were so sad. I'm like, why? I'm still trying to understand how and why you feel some kind of way. When someone gets put down, all the people living in fear after they were trying to turn their life around. I mean, I understand what you're saying, you know. It's just that you got to understand that these people, even though they were murderers, killers, or whatever you want to call them, they had real relationships with real people. They didn't kill their families. They didn't kill their daughters. They didn't kill their children. I mean, they still have real relationship and real bonds with individuals. Perry said, death is death. You grieve the same. Facts. That's my point. It doesn't matter who dies, when they dies. Grief will always be grief. Like I've heard, like lately I've been hearing, oh, you shouldn't be grieving over this one and that one. Okay, let me find a message. Okay, here we go. Good night, Jason. I couldn't wait for this topic. Kill them like the dogs they are. Mother flip. Listen. Kill them like the dogs they are. They had someone's mother crying, so now it's time for their families to cry. You shouldn't grieve for them. You shouldn't cry for them. Let them die like the dogs they are. They were dogs when they were living, and they should die dogs. They need to die. I don't care how anybody feels. I'm not grieving for anybody that took away another life. If my brother killed somebody, if my brother killed somebody, God help him, because he will die like a dog and I will feel no way. Wow. My goodness. In other words, anyway, I don't even need to summarize that because y'all heard it. She said, you die like a dog, like the dogs you killed on the street, you die like a dog. We can't always control the path of people we love. Facts. Only people I think in the terms deserve to die are sociopath, homicidal human beings because they don't care for no one or nothing and can't and nothing and take pleasure in killing. They gotta go. Boy, y'all some judges and executioners out here. What was this lifestyle, sir? I always been a Christian. I know that. I don't know what you talking about, Molly, or what you trying to get to. I was always say these guys can help the crime by giving these man. Hold on, man. If they were more selective, crime would go down. If the young ladies out there acted virtuously and only shared their time with the legitimate guys, crime would go down because they wouldn't be able to access that sweet. Man, hold on, man. Hold on, man. Hold on, man. Whether they did good or bad, we would still grieve. Facts. I would grieve, especially if I knew them. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have people legitimately out there that says you should not grieve for these dogs. Like the person that just WhatsApp just now said, they die like they kill people like dogs and they should die like dogs. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Jason, I agree with the last person that sent you the message. Please keep me anonymous because I don't want to die like a dog either. These people riding around shooting people, these people riding around shooting people, they don't shoot people with nines anymore. They shooting you with semi-automatic. What you know about semi-automatic? They shooting people with semi-automatic and high-powered rifles. Why should their family grieve for them when they didn't grieve for other people's family? Let them die on the streets, and I hope they die a quick death. Matter of fact, not a quick death. Make them suffer. Shoot them with the same high-powered rifle and let them bleed out to death crying for God. My goodness, y'all, some judges and executioners out there. In other words, she's saying you should not grieve for them. Let them die on the streets the same way they killed other people. What the heck? Anyway, y'all, for y'all who just tuning in, welcome to the Gray Area Podcast, where we talk about situations and things that are really talked about. And you can help our nice little channel grow by sharing the feed every time you come on the video. Just share, invite a friend, tell a friend, and let's talk about it. Well, living by the sword has its contradiction. For example, someone can kill all the days of their lives, but if they're attacked and given the chance to ask God for forgiveness, aren't they forgiven? We're all humans, and God has the last say. What someone we love chooses to do is beyond our control. Facts. I'm agreeing with y'all. It look like the people on Facebook has the same sentiment as me, and the WhatsApp people don't. What's popping, Ashes? Listen, we can't judge no one. We can't go before God for their sins, only our sins. But when death comes to their front door, they aren't going to say the same thing. It will be reversed. Facts. Man, I agree. When we lose people who close to us that dies, listen, that's a whole next level of hurt, pain. I mean, you can't eat, you can't sleep. Listen, let me tell you how. I had this incident, right, where a friend of mine got shot. And he was bleeding out to death. You know what I mean? He was just bleeding. I was talking to him, trying to keep him conscious, right? So I was talking, I was like, bro, you all right? Bro, you all right? You know what I mean? I was like, stay with me, you know what I mean? Talking to him or whatever, right? And listen, I felt a way. Like I was like, mother sick, homie, gonna die right here. Like that had me messed up for days. Whereas I couldn't even sleep, trying to get that image out of my head. And he was bleeding out. I mean, he's bloody. And then my mom was like, she can't understand why I feel for these gangsters, because you shouldn't feel for them. And I was bothered by that. When I say I was bothered because you know what it is? You watch somebody dying from gunshot wounds. I mean, bloody, pouring blood. I mean, blood. I don't know if y'all ever saw like a pool of blood all over. And I was like, bro. And I went inside, I was like, God, I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, you say you reign on the just and the unjust. I was like, man, God, save my boy life, man, please. And I was, I felt like I just couldn't function. Like I was so sad, I was angry, I was hurt, all at the same time, because I just saw this dude just You know what I mean? He's just dying. And then for my mom to be like, oh, you always feeling for these gangsters, da 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 da. You know, I was like, you know, we got a real homie was homie. You know what I mean? Listen, that's what I'm saying. Like, we have real relationships with these people. And people always saying, oh, don't grieve, this and that. You shouldn't grieve. Sorry, y'all. I came in hot. Very good night. Everyone will cry for one reason or the next. Death doesn't discriminate. Facts. And speaking on death, let's move away from the gangster killings right now. When you lose a relative or a close friend, what bothers me the most is when people come in and they try to say something like, you know, God takes the best, you know, God takes the best from us. You know what I mean? You know, God has all of this plan. Can you imagine? You shouldn't grieve, you know, you should celebrate. I don't know if y'all ever hear that, but I hear people say this to people all the time. You know, you shouldn't be sad. You should celebrate. You should celebrate that death. You should cherish that death. You know what I mean? You shouldn't grieve. You shouldn't be sad. I mean, like, where is the hidden rule that we ain't supposed to grieve? I'm just trying to figure out, like, why do we come off as insensitive to when people die? I mean, like, I've seen people like lost their mother, and people are like, you know, you're gonna be okay. You'll get over this. No, they won't. They won't. They won't ever get over the loss of their mother. They won't. When you lose relatives, that feeling never, ever go away. Like, people, oh, you will get over that in time. You will get over that in due time. Like, no, they won't. Like, we always putting a timeline on people's grief. Like, you can't tell somebody, oh, they should stop grieving. Like, I've seen it too much. Like, whereas people just lost their mom or just lost their dad, right? And then people trying to be, I don't know if it's spiritual. I don't know if they're trying to be extra wise or wise beyond their years or whatever. It's like, it's like, okay, you will get over this. Time heal all wounds. You know what I mean? Like, people don't want to hear that. Like literally, people don't want to hear that. Listen, I remember a few years back, my brother got shot. All I heard, my mom said, my brother got shot. Listen, I was out of the house and I was the PMH. I don't know how fast I got the PMH so fast. I didn't even ask if he was okay or whatever. You know what I mean? I just had to go to PMH to see for myself. And my brother's alive today. Thank God for that. I'm just saying, like, if something happened, ain't nobody could have told me, oh, you're going to be better. Oh, everything happens for a reason. What's the reason? Like, dude, people die. I mean, anyway, let me just get to these comments. Listen, bro, my father passed nearly 9 years ago. And typing this, my heart getting full. See what I'm saying? Like, we always trying to tell people how long they should grieve, when they should grieve and when they shouldn't grieve. Like, we need to start putting the time frame on people's grief. Oh, you don't worry, you will get better. Pat on your back. Oh, don't worry, God takes the best away from us. You know, everything happens for a reason. You know, your wounds will be healed. You know, you will get over this in no time. Like, time doesn't heal those kind of wounds. Of course not. That's like an emptiness. Perry says you will also feel empty. Facts. Like, crazy. I hate when people tell you that, especially when you lose a baby. They be like, go have a Listen, I've never told this story publicly, you know. Let me elaborate on this. I've never told this story publicly. I remember when Abby was pregnant with my baby Bum Bum, right? So when you do the heart rate test, so her heart rate was like really really low. It wasn't the normal rate it's supposed to be. So the doctor diagnosed it. I can't remember if it's anacardia or bradycardia. I know one is too high and one is too low, but I can't remember which one is which. But I know it's one of those terminologies, right? So anyway, Abby went to this doctor, right? And the doctor said, "Oh well, you're gonna have a miscarriage. Your baby's gonna die." And she said, "Don't worry, you're still young. You can have a next one." Like what like? I mean, no compassion. Like no compassion. And what I mean? And I was pausing. I was like, it's like, nah, it's like, wait, you listening to that woman? I was like, man, look at who report you believe. I was like, you listen to her. I said, anyway, let me go to get another opinion. I went to first Terrence on Carmichael, and the guy said, man, I'm 200% sure that this baby isn't gonna die. They said it's a condition. Some babies grow out of it, and some people just go to surgery to operate on it. And he was like, which option will you choose? I said, man, I'll take the waiting route. Like, ain't nothing wrong with waiting. You know what I mean? Like, the woman was cold. She's like, anyway, you still young. Anyway, your baby gonna die. You still young. You can have a next one. Like, what the? First time sharing that story, people. Of course it is. It's dead wrong. Only thing I tell people like me is ask God for strength and a sound mind. Trust me, you will need it. Mm, mm, mm. Everything happens for a reason, but they don't want you to question God. I can't. Good night. What's popping, Candy? Bradycardia. Okay, see that? I know I was close. I was close. I just couldn't remember which terminology. Sounds like a heart murmur. Yeah, but look at my baby. My baby's straight. Yeah, it's called bradycardia. It's called Brady. Or Kyle had the same issues. What a heartless Sonny. Listen, she said that with a straight face on her face. Don't worry, you still young. Like, what the like? I mean, anyway, let me get to these WhatsApp messages before they think I ain't. Okay, let's go. All right. Jason, this is a topic this touch home for me. Please keep the gray area. And I like this time frame. I get to watch the show. I lost my aunt a few years back. And the first thing the people said to the house, don't worry. God takes away the best souls. Like, how is that supposed to make me feel any better? And then someone said, I should be happy that my aunt is gone because this world, I should be happy that my aunt is gone because this world is evil and wicked. I couldn't believe the mother effers said those things to me. Sometimes these people think they're helping when in reality they're making it worse. What the sick? Welcome to the Gray Area, folks, where we talk about situations and things that are rarely talked about for whatever reason. And tonight's subject is grief. I mean, like, where do we get these rules of life from where we tell these people, oh, okay, we should be rejoicing because they're not in this world anymore. Okay, they're gonna be out of this crazy evil world. Like I don't understand. But anyway, another WhatsApp comment. Jason, this subject hit home for me. Here's why. I lost my aunt a couple of years. Everybody losing an aunt. Boy. I lost my aunt a couple of years back. Listen to me, Jason. Listen to me, Jason. The things that people were saying to me, I was amazed. I could not believe that they told my mom, who is her sister, that she shouldn't feel any kind of way. She knows God is behind it. People don't want to hear those type of things going through mourning. Like, come on. Sometimes it's best that we say nothing. Just shut up, show up. Just shut up, show up. Just shut up, show up, and keep the small talk. It's not needed. Every time they said something, it made me feel worse and it made me angry. I even forgot I was grieving and I became upset and didn't want them around my house anymore. For God's sake, when will we as a people learn? For God's sake, when will we as a people learn that we cannot tell people how and when to grieve? And we cannot put a time. Some take weeks, some take months, some take years, and some goes on forever. That's my 5 cents. See that? Hi, Gabby. The topic is grief. So, in other words, she's just basically saying that we need to stop with this traditional thing as where we come by the people's house and then try to say something positive and we end up sounding so stupid and so ignorant, whereas we make the people feel worse. Like, ain't nobody want to hear, okay, their relative or their family died and they want to hear, okay, yeah, well, you should celebrate this death because God took them away. It's their time to go. You can't escape death. I mean, nobody wants to hear that. We know that already. Like, why you want to remind us at this time? Anyway, how can one be happy to lose someone, especially someone who was everything to you? Grief can cause you to go crazy, drive you into depression, and before you know it, you're straddling mental health and stability. Facts. And people that says these things, the people actually push them over the edge. Like, we crazy as a people. I mean, that's just my 5 cents. Like, we I mean, we don't have no compassion. No compassion. Oh, Lord. My cousin died. He was one of the best. A man that did anything to put a smile on your face. Yet he was killed out of jealousy. Slaughtered like pig. Meanwhile, homie who killed him have life and eating good every day. Every 12:25 a.m. I feel everything from that call. I want someone tell me how to grieve over his death or even how long I should grieve. He'll get knocked out. I mean, it's so crazy. It's so crazy for me that we love to tell people how to grieve. Like, we just, okay, Antonique, your cousin died. Everything is going to be okay. You shouldn't feel anyway. It's going to get better. He's in a better place now. Move on with your life. Don't waste time crying. Don't waste time crying. The last message spoke to my heart. The same thing happened when I lost my dad. People make things worse and don't even know it sometimes. Less is so much more. Support can just be your presence. I don't need to hear your opinion. Facts. Wow, I empathize with Miss Green. All right, now let me try to balance these things out. Okay, my friend is saying this month is going to make 11 years since her Grammy died, and she's still not over her death. Okay, this one. You know what baffles me? What baffles me is how people show up. They show up. They show up thinking that they're here to help when they only make you feel worse or make you angry in the process. I've had people tell me that. Don't waste your tears. I've had people tell me that don't waste your I guess you shouldn't waste your tears, is what you're saying. I've had people tell me that you shouldn't waste your tears because the person is already gone. How the F can somebody tell me don't waste my tears because the person is already gone? That's the most insensitive thing I've ever heard in my life. Don't waste your tears. Mother F. What kind of society we live in where people are telling us don't waste our tears? I mean, the person is a loved one. Come on. Now, that one right there is crazy. Don't waste your tears. That's the first time I've heard that one. Don't waste your tears. The person is already gone. Mother flip. I gotta drink some water because I can't drink rum. Don't waste your tears. That's what we telling people now? Like what? Like, don't waste your... Anthony said, the Jamaican would come out of me. Don't tell me what to do with my tears. Don't waste your... That's the first time I've heard that one. Real talk. Don't tell me what to do with my tears. He who feels it knows it. That was cold, but don't waste your tears. I mean, I've never heard... Bohemians as a people are cold, bro. When I say cold, we are cold. Like somebody is grieving and we telling them don't waste their tears. The person is already gone. Mother sick. What? Where's your heart? Where's your compassion? Like what? Anyway, let me read some more of these. All right. This subject is too close to home for me. When I lost my boyfriend in a car crash, the first thing my relatives said, he wasn't no good for you anyway, so God took him away. Well, mother flip. Y'all are some cold people. He wasn't good for you anyway, so God took him away. Like certain things you shouldn't say. I don't understand if they think they're helping the kid, if they're helping the case, but they're actually making you feel worse. Like who says that? That's just my 5 cents. To this day, I've never spoken to that person. I mean, but y'all some cold people. You're cold people, y'all, my goodness. The John Doe, you may not be the same John Doe. I may know so. How can you tell me how to react to my loss? Well, mother F, I never heard any garbage like this yet today. I wouldn't waste my tears. No, no, my kicking you. Bleep. All this death is desensitizing people. That's the right word. We are desensitized. I really thought I was cold until I listened to some of these writings. Like people out there really colder than me. Like I wouldn't even say stuff. Like I take that so serious. Like that for me is like on a whole nother level. We need to learn to love each other better. Since I was fighting them, they some fighting words. So like, what the? Sorry for your loss. Can you see people are becoming bitter? They are not getting the swift justice they deserve. There's some crazy. Anyway, let me get. All right, here we go. Jason, imagine having your baby. Imagine having a baby. Oh, I don't understand. Okay, imagine having a baby, and then further down the line, you Further down the line, you start bleeding and you lose your child. Went to all of the doctor's appointment, everything was fine. Went to all the doctor's appointment, everything was fine. Then you started bleeding and you lost your child. Who feels it knows it. When losing his child, to hear people say, "You're still young, you can try again." Motherfucker. You're still young, you can try again. People these days don't know what they're saying or what they're trying to say. I don't know if they think that's helping, but me, I've had 2 children after that, and I've never gotten over the loss of that child. That's just me, and I can't speak for many. I've I've grieved every time that date comes around. I've grieved. I don't understand why people would think they can say stuff like, "You're still young, you can have another one." Like, my gosh, can you imagine seeing your baby kick on the ultrasound, move and wiggle to to then lose your child and somebody tell you, "Well, you can have another one"? What is this world coming to? Sad, sad day. R.I.P. my little one. Mother flip. Yo, that's some flicking insensitive stuff right there. A little touchy. Can't really, can't really. That right there is a little. I mean, sorry for your losses. My goodness, the woman said she saw her child, she lost her child. The people said, "You still young." Y'all crazy, but y'all. Anyway. From time we have experienced so much death, I think we become desensitized and start feeling in order to cope. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I understand society making people a little desensitized, but my goodness, even if you're desensitized, don't say nothing. You know what I mean? You can be desensitized and don't say nothing. Like, I'm desensitized to gunshot. Like, when I hear a gunshot, I'd be like, "Oh well, you know what I mean? It's not like, run and start freaking out. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to say anything. Like, if you're so desensitized, or if the people of the Bahamas are desensitized to death and so forth, then just don't say nothing. The increase in crime is intentional. We need to recognize certain realities. Our economy is failing because of crime. Who gets paid when crime increases? We need to fight this insidious plan tooth and nail for the future of our country. But that's the thing, though. I mean, I don't want to branch off too much into crime, right? But we act like we're the only country that has crime. Like, if you look at everywhere has crime, everywhere. Maybe we need stiffer penalties. Maybe we need new laws and rules that deals with crime to address the situation based on how we convict these criminals who commit crime. Maybe we should take that aspect. But I mean, crime will always be crime. I mean, I'm just saying. Rest in peace, Angel. I want to cry. I mean, that's sad. I mean, yeah, I just don't want to talk about that too much before my voice start wiggling. See, that's what we're saying now. How can you tell someone how to grieve? Some messed up stuff. On an island 21/7, you can solve a murder or shoot and wake up people. These some crazy people out there, boy. Oh, okay. Let's go. Crazy. I mean, is it a hidden rule somewhere where there's a rule on how to grieve, what to grieve on, when we should grieve, how long we should grieve, and so forth? I mean, I need to know, is there a 242 rule book on grief? Okay. Okay. Good night, JV. That baby thing hit home for me. I've been there, and I've heard even the doctor said, don't worry, you're still young. I don't understand if that's to make you cope better with the situation. For me, I think it's stupid. No one wants to hear that. Me, I prefer to hear nothing. Like you just lost a child. It's not even one of those seed things. It's a whole child, a whole living fetus, moving, breathing, fingers and everything. And for them to say, don't worry, you're still young. Don't worry, you're still young. Shake my head, shake my head. Some of these people are better off dead when they say these kind of things. Oh Lord, the baby's coming out now. The baby's coming out now. Jason, 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 Jason. You hitting it tonight. Losing a baby is what got me. That right there hit home for me. Can you imagine losing your child and hearing you're still young, you can have another one? It's not the end. I understand. Grief will no longer be necessary once we learn to love and respect one another. The dope man them can make money if things are chill on the road. Real talk. I mean, grief will always be grief. Like people will still die, even if the dope man making their money. The grief, I mean, still die, and not everybody that's getting killed is being killed over drugs. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Not that I know anything that is going on the streets or anything, because I'm saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. But the majority of the killings, it's just like I would say, if you count out 100, like 20% of them are drug related. 80 to 90% of those are 80 to 90% of those are actually gang retaliations. They ain't really. I'm just saying, drug is a part of the killing too. But we still gonna grieve, like people are still gonna die. Grief will always be necessary because grief will always be grief. These nurses and doctors losing their bedside manner. Boy, Anthony, tell me about it. Say you can have another. RIP to those who lost their loved ones. Listen. Anyway, that's a gray area subject. I don't want to dabble into that, but they have their. I think we train our nurses to be insensitive. I think the nurses and the doctors at PMH are desensitized. I don't care what anybody say. They don't show compassion for anybody, buddy. You lose your baby, oh well, hurry up, get out of this bed. We need you out of here. You get C-section and you're in pain. You lose your baby. We need you to start walking because we need this bed. Like, it's just crazy. 242 grief manual. I've heard friends tell me they're grown up and never gotten a hug or I love you from their parents. How would you expect them to be sensitive to others? Facts. Whew. That's heartless, but it is indicative of our strained healthcare system. If you're rich, you have access to better healthcare, but either way, the nurses should have better bedside manner. They don't, and they never will. Well, the majority. Telling someone how they can have another is totally not acceptable. Facts. It's unacceptable, but it happens. There are many, 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 many stories. All right, let's go. Hello, good night, Jay. This baby story, little touchy. I don't want to post on Facebook because I don't want myself out there. These doctors and nurses, they don't have no compassion for a grieving mother who just lost their child. I could remember I could remember losing my child, and the first thing they said was the first thing they said to me was I will have to walk, I will have to learn, I will have to learn how to walk to leave the hospital. Not even a sorry for your loss. They were more concerned about the bed that I was in rather than me. I could have killed myself many nights losing my child. Can you imagine going through child labor pains to know that your child died? That right there is a toll. I'm grieving to this day. This subject is touchy for me. Keep the show going. I like this late hour better. Boy, y'all out here wilding. I guess it's the 242 manual. I guess it's the 242 manual that that um that we have these rules and regulations over grief. Like we tell people how to grieve, when to grieve, why they should grieve, or we even give them alternatives to help grieving. Like you just lost a baby. Oh, go have another one. Like what the like oh, you just lost your mom. Well, she's in a better place. God takes the best one. You shouldn't cry. Or like the person said earlier, don't waste your tears. Like we out here wilding, bro. Okay. Who feels it knows it, and I know it. The nurses and doctors have no compassion. Once you start grieving, they will call it crocodile tears, like you're faking. Mm. Hello, Jay. You know my story too well. You know my story too well. You know the story of how I lost my baby, and the nurse them was cold towards me. I'll never forget those nurses' faces. We have no compassion towards a grieving mother. A grieving mother is a hurting mother. That's just my 5 cents. Boy, it's crazy out there. Mm, 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 mm. Only my mom, dad, sister, cousin, ain't aunt, uncle, friend was the best. Boy, look here. I mean, I was shocked. I thought I was the only one who had experience. I mean, not saying the only one, but it's amazing how we have this rule or law or 242 manual on how we should grieve, or how when somebody is grieving, like we have this thing down pack. Like for all the people that lost their babies or whatever, the majority of them saying you still young, you can have a next one. Like what the like y'all? I mean, how is that? I don't have a degree in psychology, right? How is you telling somebody when they lost their child, right? Like like how is that? How is somebody just lost their child? How is you telling them they're still young? They can have another one. How is that helping them to grieve? I'm just trying to. You're just adding to their pain. Like we cold. People colder than me in this world. That's just I don't know, just crazy. All right. Okay. All of the mothers are coming out tonight. All of the mothers are coming out tonight. Salute to you. Salute to you all. I didn't know so many experience the same thing that I've been going through. I've lost my baby not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times I've been losing babies. And each time I've heard the same thing. You're young, so you can keep trying. I don't understand what that means. Each loss is different and each loss gets worse and worse. Who feels it knows it. I who feels it knows it. I felt the power to send this message after hearing all those stories. I am not alone, and that makes my grieving a little bit lighter. Thank you, mothers. Boy, look here. As a mom, you're making me want to hug my babies tighter. My heart cries out for you all. Boy, the mother's coming out tonight. This grief seems like it's a hidden manual. Jason, nothing hurts more than losing a loved one. Losing a loved one takes a part of you, especially if you grew up with them or you were around them for years. When you connect with people, it's, I understand this piece, but when you connect with people, it's hard to detach yourself from them when they go. It's like a part of you went 6 feet under the dust. That's just me. I can only speak for me. And when you hear a stupid plea like everything is going to be okay, or they're in a better place, or it's supposed to happen, you just want to take a bat and whop out all their teeth. That's just me. People need to know silence is better than anything. Let me grieve in peace. Like you say, Jason, move in silence. Boy, look here. I think I've been losing people left, right, and center from last year. And I haven't posted it because I'm not a social media fan or a social media character. Whereas I post, oh, I lost this one. Because you say the wrong thing to me and telling me, oh, this and that. Whereas you telling me how to grieve. God bless your soul. Y'all crazy. It ain't just you, boo. I can totally relate. Like some people need to get knocked out for real, you know. Y'all be coming to people's house trying to encourage them, and then y'all be saying dumb, stupid stuff. Oh, it's gonna be okay. God takes the best angels. You know, don't waste your tears, honey. Like the person said earlier, don't waste your. That did it for me. Don't waste your tears. Some of y'all deserve to get punched in your eye. Anyway, I don't condone violence. Just it's crazy. Listen, I don't want y'all people on WhatsApp to get mad at me because I have to skim through and I won't be able to read all of these messages. You see, if you post it on Facebook, I can, just click and just pop up rather than me going through all these messages trying to see who messages. You see, let me show. See, it's just, I don't know, a little rough. But I don't care. I bless in everyone's soul. Don't come at me for the person that I knew. As I knew them, you get what you give. You may have gotten a and because you dealt with a hand. Pardon my French. Just was talking about this G Sky. I mean, it's real because we don't appreciate people when they grieve. Like we become the Einstein of psychology, or we become doctors and lawyers when it comes to people grieving. Like, and we have all of the answers, and this is the most interesting part of this whole discussion right here. This is the most interesting part of discussion. Y'all ever see those people that always telling people how to grieve or what they shouldn't do, or like try to give you the little motivational speech where they sounding ignorant or asinine, basically trying to say, okay, God took them away. I mean, I understand the religious aspect. It's a point for everyone to live and die. I understand all of that. But you ever watch those people, like when they lose people, like they literally be mopping the church floor, screaming and hollering. So where's all that energy that you had given the people? Why don't you take on that energy? I don't understand that. Like I've seen people, right, that say, oh, you shouldn't be discouraged, you shouldn't feel this way, or you shouldn't cry, you shouldn't be sad, you should just thank God that they're in a better place, you know what I mean, or that they left this earth is evil, like the girls say, that don't waste your tears. But the minute, or not even the minute, like the second they get a call that their people died, or their people got killed, or their people, whatever happened, and their loved one ended up passing away, my gosh, you can't peel them off the floor. You can't stop them from crying. Shoot, you can't even force them to eat because they be starving themselves. Like, okay, so why is it that, you were so wise and mighty, and you know what I mean? You were saying, okay, well, you were saying, okay, well, they should just trust God and just, this and that. Why you ain't trusting God? Why all of a sudden you mopping the floor? Listen, I've seen mother sick. Y'all just giving me these memories. Like I've seen this lady, when people die, she always say, it's gonna be all right. Things will get better. You will forget them. Like she said, you will forget. I don't know if she mean like you will forget their memories. I don't know why she says you will forget them. Boy, the minute her husband died, oh, flip, take me too. I don't want to live no more. This and that. I mean, I felt the pain that, that I understood her grief, but I was trying to figure out why is it that she couldn't understand other people's grief. Now, all of a sudden, you don't want to live? I just say it. Only thing I can offer is my condolences, support, a drink, or smoke. You choose. I ain't got nothing else to say. Like I tell everyone, ask God for strength. I can't give you none. I need some myself. But facts though. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes when I know people are grieving or whatever, I'll probably, like send a text. I can know a lot of my friends who agree, and I'll send them a text like every day. I'll give them like 1 or 2 days in between, so it don't be like I'm nagging. I'll send messages like every day, and that's my way of showing I'm here. If you feel like you know what I mean. I don't know why she would say that either, because when you lose someone, all you have are memories. That's ridiculous. I guess there's a rule, an an unspoken rule of how we should grieve. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. Let me read a couple of these WhatsApp. Jason, I don't mean to sound violent on your podcast, but some of them need to get shoot in their mouth. That's how I feel. I don't care if anybody judge me because of this. Just take a 45 and just pow right in the mouth. You're so violent, man. What happened to peace, love, and serenity? Listen, to the repast, my auntie asked my mommy if my Grammy left money with her. Mother F. Less than an hour after the graveyard, like really, my mommy mourning and grieving and sis worrying about money. Child, please. Mother, how could we forget that part? How could we forget that part? Like, listen, my cousin died last year, right? And well, before he died, like he was in and out of the hospital, like another relative of mine's called and say, "Oh, y'all know where his money is? Y'all check his account." I was like, the dude ain't even the dude wasn't even dead. The dude didn't crop out yet. And cuz was like, Oh, y'all got to check. Y'all know his passport. It's like cuz was only worrying about the money that time. We praying and we hoping he made it out the hospital. Like that one hit him with mother sick. Ain't no one judging, bro. Good choice. I like 45s too. Man, let me read this last comment because that one hit home for me. Listen to the repass. My auntie asked mommy if my Grammy left money with her. Mother F. Less than an hour after the graveyard. Like, really? My mommy mourning and grieving and sis worrying about money. Yeah. We forgot about the grieving part with the money, man. Wow. I mean, you got some people, they don't care. You grieving? He leaving any money? What in it for me? I mean, jeez. What you crying for? I need to know if the money. I need. Oh boy, how can we forget that part, man? We forgot it. We got into it at the latter part. The money. Oh, that's it. Man, we reached to the end of the podcast, man. The Gray Area podcast, where we talk about situations and things that are rarely talked about. It's all about the money. Everyone's sad, but no one want to do nothing but attend the funeral, but looking for reward. Child, listen when the tea. We open up a can of worms, eh? Mother sick. Friend, you supposed to message earlier so I could read that earlier, man. The money. Mother sick. He's showing up to the funeral, telling you need to stop crying so you can get straight to the money. What the sick? Mother sick. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning into the Gray Area podcast, man. If you enjoyed the lives, whether you on Facebook or YouTube, you all know what to do. Just hit the share link. If you haven't liked the Facebook page, go on the Gray Area podcast page and just like the page. Help the page to grow by sharing, liking, and commenting, man. Simple stuff. I don't want y'all money. I got my own money. And just go over to that YouTube page, same thing, the Gray Area podcast, and just subscribe to that. Just hit the subscribe button. What a flip. That money thing got me squawking on the inside, man. It's real out there. Like people telling you, stop crying. What you crying for? He leave you money. Some people say that cold. What you crying for? And you get money, right? The 242. Listen, I just want to leave on this note, Hold on. I don't mean to laugh, Don't let anybody tell you how to grieve. If you got to break a few dishes and buy them back, then do that. If you got to go and scream by the ocean, do that. If you got to sit by the beach, do that. If you got to, whatever you got to do, just don't hurt yourself. I don't want you to hurt whatever you got to do that doesn't include hurting yourself, do that. Grieve in peace, man. What else, sir? Ain't you ain't even dead yet in peace, man. And they popping up. So what happened to the money? What the flip? Can't even die in peace. Yeah, you got money. Breakfast on you. You got money too, bro. This 2021. Don't act broke around there. You got money too. My pockets were once grieving. My pockets that used to grieve, they shall not grieve anymore. Anyway, y'all, it was nice having y'all. Y'all know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Thank y'all for tuning into the Gray Area Podcast, where we talk about situations and things that are rarely talked about. And tonight's topic, as you can see, was grief. Y'all, I appreciate y'all, man. This was fun. So I haven't decided what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And if you feel like you want to talk about anything, some of these topics that you guys see are actually donated by you people. You people. A lot of these subjects are subjects that I gathered from people, because we don't talk about these things. We rather talk about woman juicing, people, man, and how car wash be winding up on this one, and you know what I mean? Like, we need to talk about things that are really talked about, man. Things that people keep running from. The gray area. Thank y'all for your support, man. I'm out.